My name is Jason, and here's my story going from a broke college student making $5 an hour, working in a kitchen washing dishes, to purely making $4 million in a profitable net worth at the age of 26. I did this in 5 years. This allowed me to buy fancy cars, cool watches, a Bentley, McLaren, all this fun stuff, employing 50 plus team members, and absolutely taking over the advertising space as we know it. I have the most views on the internet, I'm the most followed media buyer, and I'm here to share with you my story. When I was a kid, I struggled with my insecurities. I was 4'11", 70 pounds. I grew up in a small town in New York called Newburgh, and I didn't really fit in well. I was bullied probably throughout my entire middle school and high school career. I played basketball, I played tennis, both at a very high level. And, I was a big video game guy. I just played in my room. I didn't really do a lot of the social interaction that most people do. I liked being on my own, and I still do. I enjoy the loneliness. It lets me think, it lets me get more creative, it lets me have better ideas. One thing my mentor Greg Bray always said to me was, dude, when you're sitting there alone and you're taking a walk or you're thinking, that's when you get the best ideas. So while I was undergrown, underdeveloped, and never hit puberty, I was in this phase of high school to college. And that's when I decided to go to culinary school. I worked at a local restaurant, $5 an hour. I did that for about 2.5, 3 years. And then I went to culinary school for it because I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. I was lost. I didn't have any mentors. I wasn't self-aware. So I go to culinary school, I went to SUNY Del High, and that was hands down one of the funnest years of my life. I became more social. I started really pulling women and, kind of learning that game. I started partying. I started, doing all the fun stuff that college had in store for me because I never got out of that isolation. This was my first sense of freedom. So it was exciting for me. And when all this happened, I realized though that culinary wasn't for me. I was going to lab after lab, trying to cook, trying to learn, but to be honest, I didn't want to learn any of it. I hated it. I felt like I was just learning it to pass a test or learning it to take a quiz. It wasn't satisfying to me. So I decided to drop out within a year. I then moved back home with my parents, and I went to business school instead, and I was playing college tennis there, and then I was also working 3 jobs. I was working at a life insurance firm as an assistant, I was working at a financial firm, revamping a website, and I was working at Staples on the weekends just for part-time. That was my gas money, extra money that I could go and eat with, and etc. Biggest thing I learned throughout these years was the more you do is not always correlated to how many results you get. Most people do this whole fantasy thing of, hey, the harder you work, the more results you get. But it's actually wrong. It's about how smart you work, and most of the time I wasn't really playing my cards correctly. I was so focused on just doing more, it was making me exhausted. I was going from job to job, and then to school, and then to tennis, and I was eating fast food because I didn't have time to sit down and cook myself a meal, and my parents were working, so I really was compromising my health to hustle. But maybe if I was lucky, $800 a week wasn't enough. But when I was at one of these jobs, that was the turning point that happened for me. And everybody has this turning point in their lives and their business where things just completely change for the better. And I was actually at New York Life as an assistant at that life insurance firm, and I was watching YouTube videos. My boss went out for the day, and I was kind of bored, didn't really have much to do. I found Ty Lopez's video on YouTube with the whole, hey, here my garage ad. You all know that iconic ad. I bought the SMA course. It was $9.97 at the time, which was a lot of money to me, by the way. So I get into the course, start doing all the lessons, start implementing, and there's a big piece here before I get into the rest of the story is that when you buy something where you implement, the reason why most people don't take action is because they're distracted. The distractions that people put in front of their own lives cause inaction. So the best way of you getting past distractions and loss is just by taking action as fast as possible before your brain thinks yourself out of it. It's a huge thing in the world right now. But wound up taking the course, got, all the scripts and stuff to cold approach businesses, and I started going to barbershops, restaurants, doing 7-day free trials. And during this time, I wasn't trying to charge stuff up front. I was like, hey, I'll redo your website, I'll do your services for 7 days, and if you like it, then you have to sign on for the $300 a month or $400 a month, whichever I was charging. And that worked for a while. It was very good, it was very efficient. I got to about $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and that allowed me to stop my other jobs and just focus on social media marketing. I was officially done working a job. And yes, I know you're probably sitting there going, how did you live on your own with $2,000 to $3,000 a month? I was still living at home. If a lot of you right now are still living at home, take advantage of that. Stack as much cash as possible, because that's what I did. And then from there, for the next 2 years, I went hard on SMMA. I was getting clients, traveling with clients, going to conferences, going to events, soaking up as much as I could to be better every single day. And once I was done with college, I wanted to make my parents happy, so I finished my degree. And when I moved to Orlando, Florida, I also got my friend Troy Erickson, who's an email marketing agency owner, got him to move as well to Orlando. And we both started grinding together, hustling together. Like, you need to find that one person or that one friend who you can really grow up with. Like, you're both pushing each other. You might have like conflicted belief systems or morals and values and whatever it is, right? Morals is probably the wrong word, but you have these things that you both encompass and you learn from other people who are doing the same thing as you. And we were both growing agencies, and we also shared clients, and we tried as hard as possible to push each other. And that's what made us more successful. You gotta find that thing in your life or that person or that goal that keeps pushing you every single day. And we did that for about 2 years. We stayed in Orlando. We both grew to over 100K a month each. And then from there, that's when we decided to move to Tampa. And that was in Carrollwood. We had a huge house paying $7,000 a month. And that's where things like really started to take off for us. We were spending more money on ads. We were growing a team. We were speaking at events. We were being a part of masterminds. Like, that's when everything blew up for me. And that's when I got my first McLaren, the white one. And then I got a yellow Maserati. And then I got a Range Rover. Then I got a Bentley. And like, now I have a McLaren GT. All these things happened. And it allowed me to partake in some of the coolest things that I've ever achieved, which is through all the 5.5, 6 years that we've been running ads, we've done $122 million online for our clients in total revenue. And we've had a 4-to-1 ROAS historically for all of our clients. I've spoken on some of the biggest stages, and I'm gonna be speaking on some big ones this year. I've met and are working with some of the biggest brands in the entire world right now. And all these things were a possibility for me because I kept going. I didn't stop. I didn't think. I wasn't distracted. I had accountability. I was investing in myself. I was putting myself in the right rooms, and I was open-minded. And all of these things encompass just like one word, which is patience. You have to be patient on this journey. It's hard. Like, I get it. It's hard. But if you keep complaining that it's hard, you're never going to get out of the hard. You're going to keep sticking in the hard because you want to feel like something's hard, so it's a challenge. You need to look at it as a problem that needs to be solved right away. The same way you look at a challenge, the same way I look at a problem. There's a problem and then a solution. Or there's a hump, a challenge, and a victory. And it's like, you have to look at it that way. Like, maybe you're stuck in college. Maybe you're still living at home and you're trying to get out of this broke mindset or broke situation that you keep calling yourself, or you don't have the right skill set, you don't know where to learn. Like, you have to start by putting your money where your mouth is. You have to go get a job. Don't just quit your job because I said I did. Everybody is different. There's no cookie cutter solution for you. I would always have a job to put that active income into the actual side hustle that you're trying to pursue to make your full-time thing. Like, I always believed that your 9 to 5 was the job and then the 7 to 11 was the side hustle. You have to take the 9 to 5 income and turn that and pump the 7 to 11 thing. And the 7 to 11 will then become your full-time 9 to 5. And that's what I always did. And that's why I got here. I just was smarter with my money. I wasn't spending money on dumb shit to impress people. I was doing the right things in my life and my business. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you've been following me for a while, I appreciate you as well. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe below, and ask any questions you have about what you're currently going through in your story. Like, how can I help you? Maybe you need help with a decision you're trying to make. I'm here to help. So comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.